job data.
Plus, it's National News Literacy Week. Here at 25 News, we're helping you separate fact from fiction when it comes to which media to trust.
And it has been a gray and showery day across the area. We could see some drizzle, maybe even some fog as we make our way into tonight, going into Tuesday morning as well. I'll have the latest. Your 25 News starts in 30 seconds.
Connecting Central Texas. This is 25 News.
Wasn't that long ago, last October, about 450,000 Texans voluntarily left their jobs. That's about the same as those who left their jobs following Hurricane Harvey. But just last week, Governor Greg Abbott was touting all kinds of job creation here in the state, saying Texas had reached more than 13 million.
But if you go to a store or a restaurant, you're still likely to find a shorthanded workforce. Tonight, 25 News reporter Austin Walker joins us live in studio to find out where the disconnect is between what the governor's office is saying and what we're actually seeing.
Yeah, so over 50,000 jobs were added in just December across the state, but help wanted signs have become a permanent decoration on those storefronts. One business owner telling me today it's just a lot to juggle.
How are y'all doing? Good. How are you? Doing well. Free today?
If you blink,
One of the servers like, Miss Mary Lee, let me check it in for you. I'm like, man.
you'll probably miss her.
Back of the house kitchen. Excuse me 1 second. Thank you.
Mary Lou Castillo, owner of Casa de Castillo, simply does it all.
I'm going to host, bus, and wash dishes all in the same thing.
Well, almost everything.
One thing, I do not cook, and anybody out there who knows me knows that.
She does it because she loves it.
I get up every morning in the name of the Father, Son, Jesus Christ himself, going, oh my God, I got to do this one more day.
But she also does it because at this point, she has to.
Am I going to say I have the best staff in the United States of America? Absolutely. But I'm going to say, could I use 2, 3, 4 more? Sure thing.
As Castillo searches to staff her shifts,
I need a few more people for that.
the Texas job market is continuing to expand. In a report by the Texas Workforce Commission, just in this past December under the Abbott administration, the state has added over 50,000 more jobs. The unemployment rate dropping from 5.2% to 5%. Leaving Castillo and other business owners with questions, why can't they get people into work?
People calling said, oh, hey, are y'all hiring? Absolutely. Call for an interview, set up one, they don't show.
So businesses are desperate to find people to work.
James West, a professor of economics at Baylor, says the Texas economy is growing fast, but these help wanted signs aren't going anywhere.
Businesses are getting into a bidding war.
He says pay is a big factor.
The businesses who are willing to pay higher wages are the ones that attract the workers.
Pushing Castillo to make some changes.
We're having to increase their pay, so the staff coming in, we're hopefully trying to get a competitive rate.
As shifts stay open and consumers continue to flood in,
How are you today? Good to
she'll continue to do it all, but a little more help would go a long way. From that report, January is also looking good. The unemployment rate's expected to go down even further. Now, those numbers will come out in March, but Castillo also asks everyone to have patience when you come anywhere like a restaurant or a business, because most likely they're short-staffed. In the studio tonight, I'm Austin Walker, 25 News.
Austin, thank you. The most recent numbers from the Department of Labor show the leisure and hospitality industry gained more than 2.5 million jobs throughout 2021, but it's more than 1 million less than before the pandemic hit. And employment in bars and restaurants is also down significantly from pre-pandemic levels by some 650,000 nationwide. In December 2021, bars and restaurants only added 43,000 jobs.
Another group facing some problems, teachers. According to the University of Houston, nearly half of first-year teachers in the state of Texas are calling it quits. But get this, between 2010 and 2011, Texas retained nearly 100% of its first-year teachers. The study pointing to the pandemic, low wages, and overall stress as reasons they're leaving the field. Many Central Texas school districts are offering incentives to attract first-year teachers and then keep them around for year 2.
We try to provide on-time training for issues that our teachers might face throughout the year. So that could be grading papers, contacting parents. We set aside a half a day once every 3 months to visit with our new teachers and provide that on-time training for them. And so those are some of the things that we do to try and help retain our teachers here in Temple.
Tonight at 6 on 25 News, we'll take a closer look at how other Central Texas districts working hard to keep those teachers around. All right, a wet, soggy, kind of dreary Monday.
Yeah, and cold. I know I said I wanted the cold weather, but I'm pretty much over it.
Well, we needed the rain, and it's good news that we are getting some moisture across the area. And as I told you last week, it wasn't going to be much, but quarter to half an inch. Well, that's pretty much what we've seen for a good portion of the area today. Around a quarter of an inch in Waco, over half an inch in Temple, and about 3,200 as you head over toward Killeen, and down the Brazos Valley about 0.2 to 0.4 as well. Western counties, ouch, you really didn't see that much at all, as we are measuring it in hundredths or near zero. So unfortunate there. As we take a look at our 25 radar, you can see that most of the shower activity is pushing off toward the east. Corsicana, Fairfield seeing some showers right now. Same for Groesbeck, but you're right on the back edge of this. And then as you head down into Robertson County, moving into Leon County, Centerville seeing some rain back toward Franklin and Hearn, some light showers as well. That will continue to progress off toward the east. A little wraparound moisture here going to affect you folks in Meridian, probably areas north of Waco throughout the evening hours, and a few breaks in the clouds in Copperas Cove right now. And it has been a cool day with temperatures in the upper 40s and lower 50s.
All right, Matt, thank you. Starting today, the Washington Avenue Bridge in downtown Waco will close for about 8 weeks. Crews are making improvements to the sewer system on the west side of the river. The pedestrian walkway will remain open, but traffic will be diverted.
Right now, about 13% of the Texas population are seniors. That number is only expected to grow in the coming decades. In the city of Belton, Good Samaritans are paying attention. 25 News reporter Christina Davis has more on a new policing program.
The Belton Police Department launched a program for seniors living alone.
Hi, how are you doing this morning? This is Anita with the Are You OK program.
Good morning, this is Bill Holmes with the Belton Police Department Are You OK program. Good morning. I'm just checking in on you. How you doing?
No one likes asking for help. But for our independent seniors, Belton PD says the simple act of calling and checking on someone can be the difference between life and death.
A lady that was also living by herself was found deceased in her home. And Chief Ellis said that he did not want anything like that to ever happen in the city of Belton, and that we should start a program that would check on the seniors.
The Are You OK program has saved the lives of 13 seniors so far. If you or your loved one is interested, head on over to the Belton Police Department and grab an application, or go online to their website. In Belton, Christina Davis, 25 News.
Christina, thank you. As our nation continues to see a blood shortage, the need for donors remains critical. Congressman Pete Sessions and his staff took to Carter Blood Care in Waco to help those in need, rolling up their sleeves and donating blood to help the shortage right here in Central Texas.
We're very pleased and proud to be a part of not only trying to add blood supply, but to make sure that we do this in a way that we encourage others to do so also.
Sessions is encouraging everyone who can to donate so no one who needs blood gets turned away.
Up to 8,500 U.S. troops are now on heightened alert for a possible deployment to Eastern Europe as Russian troops continue to build up on the Ukrainian border. The Pentagon says the bulk of these U.S. troops would help NATO's quick response force if they are actually deployed.
And the United States has taken steps to heighten the readiness of its forces at home and abroad, so that they are prepared to respond to a range of contingencies, including support to the NATO response force if it is activated.
As of Monday afternoon, a few hours ago, no final decision had been made yet on those troops.
Today marks the start of National News Literacy Week.
It sure does. Still to come tonight on 25 News. On this Monday, we kicked everything off learning how to become smarter, more active consumers of reliable news.
Plus, a Central Texan celebrating a major work milestone. We'll introduce you to her and share her incredible story. Today marks the start of National News Literacy Week. Each year, our parent company, Scripps, partners with the News Literacy Project.
It is an effort to help people become smarter, active consumers of news and reliable information. Asha Qureshi has more.
Last year, the average American adult spent about 11 hours a day consuming media on their computers, television, or mobile device. That's a 20% increase from just a decade earlier.
We think news literacy is an essential skill in today's fraught information environment. It's really a life skill.
Alan Miller is the founder and CEO of the News Literacy Project. He started the nonprofit in 2008 to address concerns about the tsunami of sources of information that vary in credibility and accountability.
News literacy is the ability to evaluate all news and information and to discern credible information, to be able to sort fact from fiction.
A fact is defined as something known to be true. Opinion is a belief or judgment that rests on grounds insufficient to produce complete certainty. The main difference is that facts can be proven, whereas opinions cannot. A 2018 Pew Research study found that when presented with 5 factual and 5 statements of opinion, only 26% of adults were able to correctly recognize all 5 statements of fact. Just 35% were able to identify the statements that were opinions correctly.
We've got a perfect storm now that has created a situation where misinformation is an existential threat to the health of our democracy.
Miller says 1 in 5 newspapers have gone out of business in the last 15 years, while at the same time there's been an explosion of other sources of information.
Particularly online and through social media platforms that do not seek to inform in a fact-based, contextual, accountable way, but rather seek to persuade or exploit or misinform.
And he says therein lies the importance of news literacy. I'm Usher Qureshi reporting.
Well, a lot of needed rain falling across most parts of Central Texas today.
Yep, let's get another check on weather with Matt.
And in fact, it did rain across most of the area today, as we will be seeing this slowly come to an end as we make our way through the evening hour. So what can we expect for the rest of the week? Well, it's going to be a cool week out there. Highs generally in the 50s from Tuesday all the way through Friday. Could be a couple of showers as we head late this week. I'm not anticipating much. And then a mild weekend on the way. We may see 60s, maybe even get close to 70 as we head towards Sunday. So things will improve, especially by the weekend. Right now, though, it is dreary outside, and we'll continue to see that as most of the rain has pushed off toward the east across the I-45 corridor. I-35, we're starting to dry out, but we still have drizzle and some fog that'll be left over, and there is a little bit of wraparound moisture here near Meridian and north of Hamilton that will continue to pivot to areas north of Waco through the remainder of the evening hours. So maybe a couple more showers out there, but again, drizzle, fog will become the main detail here. Let's take a look at our Extra Co Eagle Eye in Killeen. You can see lots of cloud cover there, 49 degrees, so it is cool. And winds are out of the south at 5 miles per hour, seeing some of that rain all across Bell County for today. That's definitely some good news. And as we check out what we are anticipating for the remainder of this evening, some clearing areas west of I-35, but I think the clouds take back over once again. And then as we make our way into the middle part of the week, we will see those clouds, again, kind of shift around all across the area and then start to push in as we head toward Wednesday evening. But the big story will be the potential of fog later on tonight. And right now, visibility is not too bad. But as we head toward midnight, it looks like that we will have some patchy dense fog start to develop. Notice the half-mile visibilities, quarter-of-a-mile visibility starting to develop here. And I do think that becomes commonplace as we make our way into tomorrow morning. Again, a quarter to a third of a mile, that's going to be about it along I-35. This could impact your morning commute, so may want to allow a little extra time to get to work and school with locally dense fog possible here and there. But it quickly clears out as we make our way into Tuesday afternoon, and sunshine will ensure that we don't see that pesky fog again as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. So for tonight, it will be cool out there. Chilliest conditions where you're going to see a little clearing into the 30s back to the west. Low 40s, Waco, Temple, down to Georgetown, and then low to mid 40s as you head off toward the east. And then tomorrow, high temperatures primarily into the 50s, maybe a couple 60s sneaking in out west where you'll see a little more sunshine out there. And the normal high this time of year is 60 degrees, so at or slightly below normal for tomorrow. And I think we're going to pretty much put that for the rest of the week. 56 on Tuesday, 53 on Wednesday. Right now, it appears like most of the moisture on Wednesday will be northwest of us, so we'll keep it dry there. But Thursday into Friday, a slight chance for some showers here. Highs during the day into the 50s, lows at night into the 20s and 30s. But then the weekend gets here, and that's looking nice as we start to warm up.
All right, Matt. A Waco woman is celebrating 50 years of serving Central Texas at a local hospital, but she is not calling it quits right now. Actually, it's far from that. 25 News reporter Alicia Nespreto has tonight's Positively Central Texas.
A hospital is typically someplace that people try to stay away from, but for one woman here at Ascension Providence, not only has she chosen to come in, but to serve others every day for 50 years.
The water and sodas.
Laura Carr is a dietary attendant at the hospital cafeteria. In her 50 years, she's worked at 2 locations and in a handful of positions.
I love my job. I love it.
Hospital staff celebrated Carr today on her big anniversary to recognize all that she's contributed through the years. Her coworkers call her an angel and say she is very loved by everyone who crosses her path.
Makes me feel good. It makes me feel that I really have, a value in life that people like. I try to be as nice as I can be, and I try to be as friendly and helpful.
Over the decades, she's seen many regulars and formed bonds with the people she serves.
And especially my doctors now, I know most of them, what they like, what they don't like.
Carr says having a strong work ethic helped her reach the milestone. So much that, get this, she's only called out of work one time in her entire career.
The blizzard got me. I couldn't get out, so I called and talked with Kate. She said, "You stay in, Laura, don't you come out." I said, "Okay."
Now she was back at work today, and she plans on coming back every day for a few more years. Her advice to others: find a job you love, be a good communicator, and always show up with a smile. In Waco, Alicia Nespreto, 25 News.
Good advice there. I like that.
Yeah.
Still to come tonight at 5. You're not imagining it. Those grocery store shelves are still pretty bare these days.
We've got details on what products are in short supply and when relief might come.
Plus, today is the first day you can file for your taxes, but a new warning tonight from the IRS when it comes to actually getting that return.
In tonight's Consumer Alert, no, your eyes don't deceive you. New data confirms your grocery store shelf is emptier than usual. In early July, in-stock food levels at U.S. stores hit their lowest point since June 2020, according to the market research firm IRI. The biggest shortfall is in refrigerated dough, like the kind used for cookies or other baked goods. There's also a reduced stock of candy and baking supplies. Overall, though, more than 85% of household staples are in stock at most retailers, down from a pre-pandemic level of about 90%. Tax day is April 18th, but you can file your taxes starting now. However, the IRS warns you should be ready for refund delays. The agency is dealing with a staffing shortage and backlog from tax filings of last year. If you want to get your refund faster, the IRS recommends filing online and signing up for direct deposit. Also, make sure your return is accurate and matches IRS records for things like stimulus payments and child tax credits. And speaking of those child tax credits, if you're a parent, keep an eye out for IRS Form 6419. It'll help parents accurately report the amount of money that they got in those child tax credits in 2021. Parents who did not receive one or more child tax credit payments are encouraged to call the IRS.
Here's a look at some of the stories we're tracking for 25 News at 6. Did you catch any of the NFL football over the weekend? If you did, you're probably still talking about those incredible games. We're taking a look back at some instant classics. Plus, we continue our focus on National News Literacy Week. Tonight, looking at how misinformation has made its way into our everyday lives and how to tackle it. These stories and much more coming up on 25 News at 6.
Today is a day to spread the news about National Peanut Butter Day. Whether creamy or chunky, with chocolate or with jelly, January 24th celebrates peanut butter in all of its forms. And here's a little history note for you. In 1922, an inventor named Joseph Rosefield created the process that produced Peter Pan peanut butter, and then later went into business for himself, calling his brand Skippy.
All right. World News Tonight is just ahead, and then we're back here at 6 o'clock.
We'll see you soon.